G'day mate, 40 here. I am confused. Right, my phone says it's not raining, and yet my glasses are apparently covered in water. I feel drops of water falling from the sky. I see the ground and the shrubbery getting wet. And yet my phone says it's not going to rain for another 10 hours. So who am I going to believe? Right? My own lying eyes or the experts? So this is an example of how we should process news. So if there's a topic that we know something about and the news reports are showing rank ignorance, then obviously the news is not helping you better understand the world. On the other hand, if you don't have any expertise, it's quite possible that the news is going to provide you with more information about what's going on in the world around you, but we're drowning in information, right? What we need are explanations and theories that make sense of the world and allow us to divide up and to usefully process all the information that we're getting. So there's no unimpeachable source of truth. Right? I'm obviously not an unimpeachable source of truth. I am completely blind to many things. I'm completely wrong about many other things. I have my own psychological and social, cultural, national, racial quirks. But obviously the New York Times isn't unimpeachable either. So I say, look at the world. Right, follow the news if the news is interesting to you. Most events are ephemeral, so only follow the news if it's interesting. Right, if you're not getting pleasure, if you're not getting joy, if you're not getting fed, if you are not experiencing a benefit, if you're not scratching an itch by following the news, then don't follow the news. But if you get joy from it, then follow it. And when you're being told things by experts, by academics, by elite journalism outlets that do not comport with your life experience, then seek out an explanation for why. So often it is against the self-interest of elites to cop to basic truths such as different people have different gifts. And so they will consistently lie to you, or they'll just abstain from telling the truth. They will be economical with the truth for the sake of their own social status and professional success. There's a left-wing tendency to try to explain the troubles that befall individuals as primarily the result of structural forces in society, and undoubtedly that's sometimes correct, and sometimes people just make bad choices. But this is how I process the news and give my opinions. All right, I listen to the experts, I listen to the academics and the news, and then I process it with my own life experience. And I try to figure out where it rings true, where it doesn't ring true. If it's not ringing true, why is it not ringing true? Right? If I can read both sides on controversial issue, then I can process them through my own life experience and then through the use of evidence and logic. And so even though my phone tells me it's not raining right now, right, I'm getting wet. My phone is getting wet. My camera is getting wet. So the expertise on my phone is imperfect. On the other hand, that doesn't mean that, my phone's wrong. The experts are wrong about the weather right now, therefore I'll never listen to them. All right, so I find weather forecasts useful. They're not perfect, but they're useful. And they should be combined with other sources of information, just like elite opinion and news reports, right? When you're trying to process and understand, right, you take the report, you take the elite opinion, you read a contrary opinion, you reflect on your own life experience, you understand what is the tendency. I think that's a fancy term from the study of the Bible. What is the ideological tendency of a text or of an institution or an individual? And then when people say something that goes against their ideological tendency, probably more likely to be telling the truth. Right, that's one way that Bible scholars try to unscramble what's historically true from a fable in the Bible. And that perspective of going against the tendency, right, to try to sort out the truth is useful. It's also interesting when people have disproportionate or insufficient trust in their own life experience. Right? Some people are so distrusting of themselves, so reliant on experts, that they don't give sufficient weight to their own life experience that would help them avoid a whole bunch of nonsense promoted by expertise. Then other people say, if it doesn't comport with common sense, then I'm just going to reject the expertise. But all academic studies are not created equal, right? Some are much more formidable than others, right? Larger sample size, more rigorous methods. Was a study pre-registered, so it wasn't just cherry-picking its results, right? Who are the academics behind it? Do they have a sterling record or a flawed record? Right, so when you're processing information, news, views, right, part of it's about analyzing who's delivering it to you, what are the incentives that they're facing, what's their track record, who's their audience, like who's paying for this. So news generally doesn't pay for itself. So increasingly, organizations with an agenda are funding the news. And that's it.